This Bill Cosby conviction is a travesty of the American justice system. It will be overturned in appeals. Now, I'm no legal expert. Based on the facts of the case, it has to be overturned. Off the bat, when Andrea Constand in 2005 went to the district attorney to try to bring the case against Bill Cosby, the DA waved it off, saying that she didn't have enough evidence, nor did she have the credibility to bring about charges, so she should seek a civil resolution. And that later occurred in 2006, where she received at least $3 million from Bill Cosby. And all he had to do was admit that he gave drugs, being Quaaludes or Benadryl, not sure which one, to women with their knowledge, with consent. But the media wants to make it seem that he did it without consent. No, he didn't slip drugs to anybody, and he never admitted to anything of that nature. And that deposition was supposed to be sealed. Fast forward 2016, a new DA from Montgomery County, Philadelphia, still comes on the scene, beats out the old guy Castro, and still ran on the platform of prosecuting Bill Cosby. Things become unsealed. Constand takes it to trial. First trial, mistrial. Brings to this conviction of this current second trial, the retrial, if you will. He's found convicted. Now, what changed? The only thing different is that more women, I believe 5 additional women, backed up the claims of Constand, saying that the same thing happened to them to establish a pattern of behavior. That was the only difference. It wasn't based on her word. It's based on other people. That's the problem. Now, they did allow Cosby this time to have Margot Jackson, who was a friend, co-worker of Constand, to testify that she was looking to set up a celebrity. This celebrity implied to be Bill Cosby. Okay. Plus, you have a pattern of behavior that she also was involved in a pyramid scam. Okay. The thing is, they didn't let her ex-boyfriend, lover, relationship, whatever it was, testify against her on behalf of Cosby that she had a racist mother that was driving her to do certain things. They say that would taint the jury. But you can build a pattern of behavior against Cosby, but you can't build a pattern of behavior against Andrea Constand. Shows that she was aggressive about everything that she didn't agree with, and why we should be passive in this particular situation. The other mother called black people niggers, and that she wanted to get back at black men because Andrea Constand, old friend, boyfriend, Steve Nash, yes, that's Steve Nash of the NBA, got with a Latino woman, Alejandra, that he eventually married. And Constand's mom was mad that happened. So she wanted to take out her frustrations against black people, and particularly black men. Once she found out about the Cosby thing, she supposedly put the battery in her back to make that happen. So you have that environment in which Constand's coming up, Andrea Constand's coming up to have that effect on her, which is valid. She was part of a pyramid scheme, which is valid. You can't get a story straight. Called Cosby 70 times after the supposed incident, even brought him gifts, including bath salts. Something that you can say would be used in a romantic situation, with bath salts and incense. Now, you also have the issue of when the jurors are being tainted, because you have a juror admitting off the bat that he thought Cosby was guilty, and he still got selected. That's a problem as well. So you have someone that's already biased against him getting on the jury. You can't have that. Someone that can readily admit that. So yeah, those are 3 grounds for appeals, and it's going to be overturned because it just doesn't make sense. And the number one reason being that sealed deposition was unsealed. And you can't, if once that was sealed for that civil case, going back and use that for criminal case, it's just unheard of. It's a done deal. If you're going to go pursue criminal charges, go ahead and give that money back. That's how it is. Because remember, you don't have to prove your innocence. You are innocent. Case of Cosby, you got to prove his guilt. It becomes word versus word. She was old enough, 30 years old, to go ahead and have that situation addressed immediately. Didn't happen. No police reports, no rape kits at the hospital, none of that. But what has come about is that she wanted to set somebody up, that she could set somebody up, that her mother has used racist terminology. The assistant DA, in this case right now, has used harsh racial words against Cosby. So that's a problem. It's not being addressed. People are busy reading headlines without looking into facts because they have an agenda. It's a travesty. Supremacy is at work. Point blank, period. You gotta pay attention to these things. They'll try to use that numbers game on you. Say, well, this means people can't be wrong, right? It just, that numbers game mess with people's mind. Psychological game. And you say, what about any other accusers? Well, they're proven non-credible. When you go back through them, some prove to be just saying something for whatever project they was working on. Some proven just to be outright liars without the credibility. The other ones. But that's just a numbers game to mess with people's mind. When you look at the facts, what do you have? Nothing. So Robert Russell should have been allowed to speak his piece in the courtroom, but he wasn't. See, I mean, they blocked Robert Russell from testifying to the full extent of his relationship with Constand. He wasn't able to bring up the drug use, the greed, the racism that she and her mother had, because they figured that would taint the jurors. He was cut off, so he was only pretty much able to say he knew her in a brief way in Canada in 2001. That's all he was allowed to say. He wasn't able to get into the other aspects of their relationship, what he knew about her. Which goes to just show you how much the DAs control the criminal justice process. Where they sit in the bail, what kind of charges are going to be brought up, if you even want to see the courtroom, plea deals, etc. That's a lot of power, which is also important, especially if you're in a minority, you're black, to pay attention who the DA is, what they're running about, and if you can get even some people that support what you're doing, get your own people in there. Get somebody to come back that has the community's interest at heart. That always has to be an attorney. So what that means, you got to start with the kids young in college or high school or what have you, and try to see they get on that path to get to law school, and they can be the district attorney in that area and have the community and your people's interests at heart. Because there's a lot of room for supremacy to get caught up in that DA's office, and for you as a black person to get overcharged. So you always gotta be aware of that. That can extend to other minorities as well, and that's why we have people, especially in other communities that have been affected by things, trying to get on as these DAs and judges, etc. And that's something that black people need to do, and even be done independently. Because you have these majority black areas where they should be able to get an independent black person in terms of mayor, or even district attorney, etc. Yes, law is important, but someone's still going to interpret that law in the process of the law being handled. The DA has a lot of power as well as someone gets to court, and they have a high conviction rate. So the ball is always in that court. They're hard to beat, really hard to beat the DA, and they're the ones that determine that those police shootings against unarmed black people doing their own thing, minding their own business. They're the ones that determine if they're going to keep going or what kind of evidence is going to be used. So you got to pay attention to that. That's my take. Iceberg, Jim out. Deuces.